And now, very quickly, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, the left or right aligned folder. So we did the one that was centered. Now we are going to do the one that is right aligned, actually, except that the text, if there was an address here and that was left aligned, so I call it the left aligned thing. And basically what I just want to show you is all the kinds of things that you can put on a folder. Now I have the golden ratio thing here, which I'm using sometimes but not always. Sometimes I'm just also eyeballing things or just going by experience. But anyway, let's get started. So you can put watercolors on your folder. I mean, I'm going to do that here. So let me just go through everything that I found here. And I have to do these one by one because they will all overlap. This one I'm not crazy about. Even a big abstract watercolor blob like this would work very nicely. Or a background that is made out of watercolors. So where do you find them? You find them on Freepik or Victeezy. And basically, sorry people, you check vectors. In your case it would be the free ones. I checked all. But that's no big issue. If you find something that you like, just let me know and I will get it for you. So I have a whole bunch of searches going here. I have green watercolor. I have herbs, watercolor herbs. And some of the ones that I just showed you are from that search, from this search. Like I think this one here. Plants, watercolor plants. Again, we're on the first page. Obviously I didn't stay on the first page. I went much further. Watercolor leaves. And then doodles. So some of the things that I used here, such as this one here for example, or this one here, let me see, do I have any others here? No, I have these two. Came out of the search. Oh, and also this one here as well, which is, let's see, it's this one right here. Now, doodle means in Turkish karalama. And one of the things that I've been thinking about is that I'm not sure if you're searching properly, if you have the correct keywords when you are searching things. So in many cases you wouldn't be able to find things because you don't have the correct keywords. So what you do when you are looking for something that would be like a karalama, you go to Google Translate, you write karalama. Now the first thing that will come up is defamation, which is like hakaret, karalama, iftira. But then if you go a little bit further down, you will get doodle. See, you will get scribble and you will get doodle. And then all you need to do is go back into the search engine and write doodle, or let's try scribble. I didn't try that one. Let's try that. And do we get anything? Well, we don't get anything really different from the doodle one. I think the doodle one is better. So let's go back to that. So I got quite a few from here. So it's all a question of searching for the right thing. Now let's go back, let's go to the photos. So I have a whole bunch of photos as well. So I'm just going to go through them. And here I want to show you something. Now, the way this photograph originally looks is like this. It is much redder. Let me just glue this fit the screen. So I added a smart filter to it. and I got rid of all the red. And I did that with all the next ones as well. So for example, this one is actually really orange, and I don't want that. I want to emphasize the bottle, and also I don't really like this color, and also I think although it is a complementary to this blue, I don't think it's really working all that well. So I wanted to get rid of that. So how do I do that? I'm just going to demonstrate that to you on this one, although I don't want to change the colors of this one at all. You can go to Hue Saturation, which is Control U. Then you select one of the colors, and in this case it wouldn't work because there isn't a lot of red here, but it still might work. And then you just get rid of the saturation value, which is what I did with these here. So if we go here, on the master everything looks okay, but if I go to the reds, the saturation is at -100. Oh, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing because I have the other one open. So double click, reds, saturation is -100. Now I could also, for example, maybe want to make these yellows a little bit less. So then I would just go like this, except that they are turning gray. So that's not something that I want. So what I could do is I could change the hue of these yellows. So if I go more like this, they will become more yellow. Then eventually they will become green, and then eventually they will even become blue, except that it usually won't work that well, or they will become more red. But when you go to extremes, then this thing will usually screw up on you. It'll usually start solarizing things, which is something that we don't really want. But in any case, I'm quite happy with the yellow here, so it stays how it is. Again, here the red is missing. Same with this one. So what I'm trying to get at is that when you are using photographs, you will probably need to adjust them. You will need to play with the colors, and there's a huge range of things that you can use. Hold on, let me just go here. Adjustments. You can work with the brightness, contrast, the levels, the curves, the exposure, vibrance, hue, saturation, etc., etc. Except this is a smart object. I dragged this photograph onto here, so when I double click on it, I would actually go to the original. Now on the original I can do local changes. So for example, if I just do this here, I could maybe just open up this part here, or let's see, and then just, for example, make something lighter through the levels or the curves. I don't want to do any of that, but I can only do that on the original photograph. This here is a smart object, so here I can change the whole photograph, but I can't change a part of it. For that you have to double click and go to the original photograph. So I have other herbs here, and then since this is a Turkish thing, I have this Turkish coffee thing with these nuts and almonds and stuff like that. And then I have this one here, which I actually like a lot. Again, it's a Turkish tea glass, and you can find when you're on FreePic, and if you write Turkish here, you will find so much stuff. You'll be absolutely amazed, because I think there are a lot of Turks that are contributing to FreePic. And then finally I have this Aloe Vera, where again I did an adjustment. So what I did is I changed the hue of this. I made this more blue. So if I close this, this is actually a very bright green, and I don't want that, because also I think I want it to be a little bit more like this here. So I lessened the saturation to -26, and then if I take this to 0, it'll be that green except less saturated, but I want it to become more blue. So I just do this, and I'm not going to do anything now. I already have my value. But anyway, that's how this works. Then I did this here, which is what I'm going to use actually. But then, so what I did here is I have the big cat, and this is the cat that I used on the logo, this one here. But then there are other cats that are drawn in the same style, so I took one of the other ones, just copy pasted it onto here as a smart object, made it really huge, put a gray background behind it, made the top part white. Let me just align that, and then that's the folder cover. Now I also have a couple more which I really like. These are vector drawings, they're not watercolors. So I have one like this, and then I have one like this, and then I have one like this. Now, am I going to use all of these things? No, of course not. However, I want to have more than I want to use. It's always a good idea to have more stuff than you're actually going to end up using, which is why I have so much. Now, what I am going to do is, in the very next tutorial that I'm going to make, I'm going to take, let me go back to the one that I'm actually going to use, which is this one. I'm going to make a mock-up. And I'm going to put the letterhead, the business card, the envelope, and the folder, and everything inside a mock-up. I'm going to show you how to do that, and while I do that, I may want to have alternatives to this folder. I may want to have variations. So instead of just one folder cover, I may want to have 3. So I'm going to show you how to do that as well, which is why I actually made such a big selection. So anyway, that's it for the aligned, right aligned or left aligned folder tutorial, and I will see you soon.